guys, it's Jess. Welcome to my first episode of Books Unpacked. Today I want to talk about a book that I read and have been wanting to talk about on this channel for a long time, and that is Tarzan of the Apes by Edgar Rice Burroughs. I'm also going to put the warning out, and I know I did this with my intro video, but there will potentially be spoilers or things you do not want to hear if you are interested in reading this book. So I would recommend not watching this if you feel like you are really interested in reading this book and you do not want to be spoiled, and that would just ruin the experience for you. So come back to this video when you've read this. Otherwise, if you just want to listen, be my guest. So in a nutshell, Tarzan of the Apes is a sensational story about man versus nature. I read the first 4 books in the series, so I would also like to add that this book is an example of something that probably shouldn't have been a series. So with that, let's unpack this. Edgar Rice Burroughs was born in Chicago in 1875 and died in 1950. He was 36 when Tarzan of the Apes was published, and it was first published in 1912 in All Story magazine. It became instantly popular. Tarzan is one of the best known characters in literature. Overall, Burroughs wrote 24 Tarzan books, and there have been over 40 films of this character. Tarzan of the Apes was written during the golden age of pulp fiction, which ran from about 1896 to the 1950s. What is pulp fiction? Fiction dealing with lurid or sensational subjects, often printed on rough, low-quality paper. So the story starts out with Lord and Lady Greystoke. They're on a boat on the way to Africa. Greystoke apparently has some sort of military business or something he needs to see to. It's never really fully explained. But basically they are going to be moving there, they have all their stuff, they are going to be posted there for quite some time. The sailors on their ship end up mutinying against the captain, who is a jerk, and Lord and Lady Greystoke find themselves stranded in the middle of the African jungle. But because Lord Greystoke showed some kindness to the head of this mutiny, they were shown kindness by not being killed. So of course then they have to learn how to survive in the jungle, and they have been left with all their stuff, so they are able to build a little hut and survive for quite some time. Lady Greystoke is pregnant, and as we know, her child ends up being Tarzan. I think from this point we pretty much know the story. It is actually the apes that attack his parents and kill them. Of course, Tarzan is adopted by Kala, a she-ape. And of course, as we know, he grows up learning the ways of the apes and learning how to survive in the dangerous jungle. One of the main themes of this book is the whole noble savage literary concept. The idea behind that is that society corrupts man, and the noble savage character is one who is gentle and wise and uncorrupted by society. Which concept in the character of Tarzan. The story does seem to kind of go on saying that society is inevitable, especially with the arrival, of course, as we know, of Jane Porter. The story is actually kind of hard on the learned or society sort of man. A lot of them are seen as not so good, not bad, but usually just not very smart. For example, Jane's father, Professor Porter, who is supposed to be this very intelligent, learned man, is wandering around in the second book, I believe that is, wondering where the post office is, and he is in the middle of the jungle. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the Disney adaptation of Tarzan, which is one I think a lot of us are probably most familiar with. I actually thought Disney did a really good job adapting the story. Obviously, it is very different from the actual book. A lot of the character names that were in the Disney were actually in the original book. First of all, Kerchak, who we all know is kind of being a bit of a jerk in the movie. In the book, though, he is almost evil. He actually is the ape that kills Tarzan's parents. Spoiler. I think the character that was the closest to the Disney one was Kala. A lot of other things that were changed were like the names Sabor and Tantor were not individual characters, but the names for all the animals, all the elephants, all the leopards. Clayton is also in the book, and he is actually a pretty decent bloke. Like, he's like evil in the movie, but he's actually not a bad guy in the book. So the movie did actually have a nod to the book, which I was really impressed about. There's that scene where he's all upset as a kid and he puts mud on himself, and that is actually in the book. He does it because, of course, as a kid, he wants to fit in with the rest of the apes, so he puts mud on himself so that he'll be dark and kind of like the apes. Like I said before, I read the first 4 books in the series. The first one, Tarzan of the Apes, was quite good. It actually seemed not very pulp fiction to me at all, which I was really impressed. The other ones start getting more pulp fiction-y, and they're definitely not as good. They're really funny at some points. If you want to know the ending, what happens to Jane and Tarzan, you have to go on to Return of Tarzan, which Oh my goodness, there's just so much stuff before they actually get back to Jane and Tarzan. He makes an arch enemy with this Russian guy called Nicholas Rokov. He becomes a secret agent or something. They get marooned all over again. The book I found most hilarious though was The Beast of Tarzan. Basically everybody becomes stupid and that Rokov guy comes back and it's just... yeah. Tarzan gets tricked getting on a ship and so does Jane at the same time. And it's really stupid because they literally just like walk right into it. I don't think these people should ever go on ships because there is a lot of marooning, but which of course is what ends up happening to them. Rokov is basically trying to get revenge on Tarzan because he's stopped him from being a jerk multiple times. So basically his big plan is to dump Tarzan in the jungle without any clothes on. And my battery died. And that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments about Tarzan, if you've read it or thought it was interesting or had any questions or whatever, please leave it in the comments below and I will see you soon with another episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!